Om. Om. Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namani Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayet Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samagaha Jhanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yashyantam Navidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Before we go to the second chapter, yesterday we have run through the first chapter. Towards the end, I chanted Om Tat Sat, Iti Srimad Mahabharate, etc., etc. I did not have the time to explain those words, which I would do now. Okay. Afterwards, we will go on to Arjuna, etc., questions and things like that. Okay. Okay. This is what. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat is, Om is what? Om is one of the names of Bhagavan, supposing we say. Saguna Brahma Namaha. Tat Sat. What is that Tat? Tat is what? Tat is Brahma. Because in the Chandogya Upanishad, Tattvamasi, Tat, Tvamasi, that Tat, that Brahma, Tvam Asi. Om Tat Sat, Tat Sat, that Brahma is Sat. Sat is what? Trikala Abhatita Vastu. In the Tattva Bodha and Atma Bodha, what did we pick up regarding Brahma? Brahmeva Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Midhyeti. Is it not? Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Midhyeti. Om Tat Sat. Iti, thus, Srimad Mahabharate. That Mahabharate is not here, but I am reading. Iti Srimad Mahabharate. Shriman is what? Shri is wealth. Sriman Mahabharata means it's a wealthy epic. Sriman Mahabharata, it's a very wealthy epic. I would request all of you to get on to reading Mahabharata, because there will be a lot of things for you to learn through Mahabharata, right? And when the time is on your side, you please have a commitment to read the Mahabharata. If you want to postpone, Mahabharata is a very voluminous text, and time will not be adequate for you later on. Iti Sriman Mahabharate, Mahabharata, huge fellow, this epic, Sriman Mahabharate, Shatasahasrikayam, that's what also I read. Shatasahasrikayam means it is consisting of 100,000 verses. It's an epic which is consisting of 100,000 verses. Shatasahasrikayam Samhitayam, it's a collection of 100,000 verses. Samhitayam Vaiyasikyam, it is written by Vyasa Bhagavan. Okay, the author is Vyasa Bhagavan. Writing is Ganesha. Okay. Vaiyasikyam Srimad Bhishma Parvani. In the Bhishma Parva. And Bhishma Parva is which Parva of the Mahabharata? Which number? 6. In the Mahabharata, 18 Parvas are there. Bhishma Parva is almost ending the first Shatka there. Bhishma Parva. Bhishma Parvani. Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, Srimad, again Srimad. It's a wealthy input to the mind. Wonderful, wealthy input to the mind. Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, Upanishatsu. And it's an Upanishad. In fact, it is an Upanishad Sara. Sarva Upanishad Saraha Gita Shastraha. Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam. It is giving us Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya is Atma Vidya. It is telling us as to who indeed we are. Brahma Vidyayam. And for us to get on to knowing who indeed we are, there are means created in the Gita Shastra. Yoga Shastre, Brahma Vidyayam, Yoga Shastre. There is Yoga Shastra also, almost throughout the Gita Shastra. That Yoga Shastra is what? Karma Yoga Shastra. Yoga Shastre, Sri Krishna, Arjuna, Samvade. It's a beautiful Samvada. It's a kind of a dialogue between Bhagavan Krishna and Arjuna to get to the truth. Shri Krishnarjuna Samvade Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama Prathamodhyayaha. By the name Arjuna Vishada Yoga, that is Arjuna's despair, Prathama Adhyayaha. The first chapter. That is how the first chapter has ended. Right? I'm sorry I did not have time yesterday to cover this. Now, Brahmara, you said some questions. Hello?
Yes. I'm going to read the questions. Yeah. Percy G had a question about 1 second. How could 100 Kauravas be produced in the childbearing age that a lady possesses, given that usually a lady cannot conceive during lactation?
No. Can you say it again? How could 100 Kauravas?
be conceived, be
Uh-huh.
produced, not
Uh-huh.
conceived, be produced in the childbearing age that a
Okay.
lady possesses.
Oh, done.
So,
I'll answer.
yeah, even if artificial insemination were available that requires sub-zero temperatures, forgive my ignorance, did Dhritarashtra have the same prowess as Vedavyasa to produce children without physical contact?
Okay. I'll answer that. Is that Percy Saab's question?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Now what happened is, when Kunti was carrying Yudhisthira, at the same time, Gandhari was also carrying. And Gandhari was blessed by both Mahadeva and Vyasa Bhagavan also to have 100 sons. When Gandhari came to know that Yudhishthira was born, she became highly jealous, got frustrated. She immediately pounded her stomach, her belly, and because of that, she delivered a huge pumpkin-like thing, right? And that was coming into pieces. When Vyasa Bhagavan came to know this, he chastised Gandhari, and all the pieces, 101 pieces of that vegetable, he happened to order that each part must be kept in a pot, the pot filled with ghee and the pot closed. Till such a time, he says, okay. And all the 101 were kept like that. And out of the 101, 100 became the sons of Gandhari, and the last one became the daughter of Gandhari, Dussala by name. So, out of jealousy, she broke open her own womb. That is the reason for 100 pieces to come out, and Vyasa Bhagavan's mercy and blessing, all that was saved. Is that okay, sir? Okay, Mr. Percy is not there, I think. Yeah.
I'm
Next.
there, sir. In case.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Next question.
Next one is from Dr. Mara. What is Dharma in our day-to-day life, and how is it related to karma that we are doing every day? Even when reading Bhagavad Gita, it is not clear to me when Dharma, how do I understand it?
Yeah, actually, we have not yet begun the second chapter. When we begin the second chapter, the answer to your question will easily follow. Okay. Would you mind waiting for some more time, Dr. Mara?
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
He
next
has
question.
another question. How
Huh?
transgender issues addressed in the Puranas, and how
What is-
acceptable
No, I did not follow. What is that?
transgender, how transgender issues were addressed in the Puranas, and how acceptable by society at that time?
Frankly, I don't know how acceptable it was by society at that time. The society there was very, very noble. So it became very easy to accept any minor differences in the genders of people. Maybe because of that.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Next question.
There are no more questions.
Okay. If there are no more questions, we will go to Arjuna. Brahmara, you were asking. Okay.
Yes, because you
Yeah.
it is mentioned that in order to get the best out of Bhagavad Gita, to get the essence of the teachings of Bhagavan, one has to get into the shoes of Arjuna,
Very right.
right? So um,
Yeah.
my question was
I
that
got your question. I got your
okay.
question. I'll answer that. Now, Arjuna was a very honest prince. Okay? Wonderful integrity, highly truthful, and highly disciplined, highly committed. He was a very great student of both Bhishmacharya, Krupacharya, and Dronacharya, right? And the person in Arjuna, unless he had a lot of superlative qualities, Bhagavan Krishna could not have agreed to be his charioteer, and later on agreed to teach him the Gita. For teaching the Gita, there is what is called an adhikaritvam that is required. Even in the Tattva Bodha and Atma Bodha, we have picked up that adhikaritvam. Is it not? In the Tattva Bodha, what did we read? Vasudevendra Yogendram Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitathaya Tattva Bodho Vidhiyate. There only Mukshutvam was mentioned as the qualification. Tattva Bodha talks beautifully. Tapo bhikshina papanam shantanam vetaraginam mumukshunam apekshoyam atma bodho vidhiyate. Though Tattva Bodha does not talk of the traces of qualification in the Pradhana Sloka, it covers beautifully. Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna Adhikarinam, all those things are required. And all those things in a great measure Arjuna had. And we have to, if we do not have yet, we have to slowly acquire those. We have to slowly acquire, and whatever is deficient in us, we should be aware so that the deficiency can be taken care. And Arjuna was such a very nice prince, very noble prince. He has never said no to his mother Kunti, nor to any of his brothers, not only elder brothers in Yudhisthira and Bhimasena, even Nakula and Sahadeva also. He treated them very, very dearly. Saying no was not in his attitude at all. If they had said something, he was okay with that. And he was very, very helpful, very trustworthy. He was a very great warrior and a greater merciful warrior. Why I am saying merciful warrior is, if anybody has shown the back while fighting, he stopped piercing him. If anybody has sought refuge in him, he has protected that person. Highly merciful. Then he was brave from the beginning. As a mere boy prince, he exhibited that bravery when Dronacharya was teaching all the Kuru princes. Kuru princes includes Pandava princes also, the archery and things like that. There was one day, Acharya Drona was taking a bath and he was caught by a crocodile. And he he has pleaded mercy from the other princes. Everybody was fear-stricken. Crocodile, crocodile. Dronacharya is caught. Now he's finished, that kind of a thing. Arjuna simply took out his bow and arrows and shot that crocodile. Shot that crocodile very, very sincerely. And Drona was released from the crocodile. That kind of a bravery. See, the thought was to relieve Dronacharya from the clutches of the crocodile. That was uppermost in his mind, and he was a very brave prince. He did not mind hurting Dronacharya in the process. He has to release him from the crocodile, which he has done. And we have covered already, as a very brave prince, when he was in his teens, he has captured Drupada. Right? Bravery. Bravery, when required, he exhibited. He did not exhibit bravery with the ladies and things like that. He did not exhibit bravery in front of elders. And whenever elders were talking, he was all ears. He never interfered with what they were saying, what they had to say. Right. Then he was one prince much earlier to Yudhisthira. Yudhisthira was a prince who happened to go to the Swargaloka with his mortal body. Before his elder brother, Arjuna has gone to Swargaloka. Not only that, he occupied the throne of Indra and he lived there for 5 years. Not everybody can live for 5 years in Swargaloka. In the 9th chapter of the Gita, Bhagavan says, Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam kshine punye matyalokam vishanti. For you to go to Swargalokam, you must have acquired a lot of punyam and things like that. And after your punyam is exhausted, you come back. You come back to Matyalokam. He had that advantage because of his greatness. He was great as a person. He was the son of a great king, Pandu. He was the son of a great queen, Kunti. And he was the younger brother of two great princes, Yudhisthira and Bhimasena. And he was a gift from the god of gods, Indra. He was a gift from the god of gods. And Arjuna had a very great influence on Bhimasena. Bhimasena was given to a lot of emotional upsurge and things like that. And Arjuna used to kind of be the palliative for him. He used to comfort him. Hey, Anna, it's not like that. Even in the palace, Kuru palace, when the first game of dice was going on, and Yudhisthira has lost everything, including himself and Draupadi, Bhimasena almost got up. He protested, saying, I will break your arms, Yudhisthira, for having played this dice game. I will break your arms. And he was about to get up. Arjuna made him sit down, cooled him down. Because Yudhisthira did not play the game of dice on his own. He was called by Dhritarashtra, and he had to obey that. Not only Dhritarashtra was another king, he was his elder father. So he had to obey. And in the process, when Duryodhana was having Shakuni as his dice player, he could not object. he could not even object. If he had objected, this kind of a situation would not have come. If he had objected, he could have been very well within his rights. But he did not. Perhaps that is a mistake. So, Bhimasena was always a very angry man, given to a lot of emotions, and Arjuna was his soothing effect. What I'm saying is, if we also can be like Arjuna, to be the soothing effect, not only on ourselves, on others also, it will be wonderful. Arjuna was a person of very high values and conformed to Dharma totally. Only thing is, in the Arjuna Vishada Yoga, he got confused between Dharma and compassion. He got confused. Yeah, these are all the great qualities of Arjuna, and he was always a gallant in respect of ladies. He always respected ladies, be it mother, be it wife, be it sister-in-law, whoever. And he had won Draupadi in the archery contest. Anyone who wins a princess, what would that person think? I have won this princess, beautiful princess, I am going to marry her. But when Vyasa Bhagavan said, all of you are going to marry, he readily agreed. He did not say anything. That shows his willingness to abide by what the elders would say. And his willingness to, if you allow me to say, to have Draupadi as the wife of the other four Pandavas also. This is a great quality. It's not given to everybody. These are Arjuna's qualities. Now, is that okay, Brahmara?
Yes, Nana.
Okay. Now, we are on to the Sankhya Yoga. Before we go on to the Sankhya Yoga, we must know who is an Astika and who is an Astika. Astika is one who has the Vishwasa in the Guru Vedanta Vakyas. Guru Vedanta Vakyadishu Vishwasaha Shraddha. That is what is mentioned. That Shraddha will be that of an Astika. When Shruti Vakyas are taken by you as very, very sacrosanct, Shruti Vakyas, Veda Vakyas are your Bible. That means what? You are going to abide by them. That is a stamp of an Astika. Stamp of an Astika, right? Astika means the one who is a believer. Believer of what? Believer of the great Grantha called the Veda, which also contains the Vedanta. Now, this Astika, the qualification for Astika does not require the belief in any God. Belief in the God, okay? Instead of saying any God, belief in the God. That comes through the Vedas, because through the Vedas and the Upanishad, God is, beautifully described in so many ways. even in the Upanishads, right? Tattvamasi, when Tat is being mentioned, that Tat is what? God, that Brahma, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnanam Brahma, all these Vedanta Vakyas, it does not require you to have belief in God separately. If you have belief in the Shastra, that is good enough. You are an Astika. Whoever does not have belief in the Shastra is called an Astika. Right? From that point of view, the Buddhas are considered Nastikas because they do not believe in the Veda Shastra at all, Vedanta Shastra at all. They do not believe. Whereas, now we are going to the Sankhya Shastra. There is a Sankhya Yoga or Sankhya Shastra by one great Rishi, Kapila Rishi. That is not what Bhagavan Krishna is going to teach Arjuna and all of us. That Kapila Mahamuni is an Astika. He believed in the Veda and Shastras and things like that, but he did not accept God at all. Kapila did not accept God. Tattvamasi, no, that Tat and things like that. Aham Brahmasmi, and the Brahma is not considered. So that is a Kapila Shastra or Kapila Yoga, which is not what we are going to discuss through Bhagavan's beautiful Vakyas. Right. Now we'll enter the second chapter. All of us are really blessed to be in the second chapter. Second chapter is Sankhya Yoga. And this Sankhya Yoga, how is it different from the other Sankhya Yoga of Kapila? This Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya means Samyak Khyayate iti Sankhyaha. Samyak, completely, without any shade of doubt. Samyak Khyayate iti Sankhyaha. It is unfolded, completely unfolded, beautifully unfolded. Iti Sankhyaha. And this Sankhya Yoga, we have covered already. All the chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, the names end up with yoga. That yoga means the subject matter. Sankhya is the subject matter of this chapter, the second chapter. And in the second chapter, only Bhagavan Krishna's teaching would start. Sanjaya Uvacha tam tadha krupaya vishtam ashrupurnakulekshanam vishidantamidam vakyam uvacha madhusudanaha tam Arjunam. That Arjuna, tada, in that manner, krupaya avishtam, he was kind of engulfed in compassion. Krupaya avishtam, ashrupurna kulekshanam. Ashrupurna, his eyes were filled with tears. And kulekshanam, he is as though sorrowing, about to shed tears. Ashrupurna kulekshanam, vishidantam, he is very distressed. He is in great despair. Vishidantam, idam vakyam. That vishidantam Arjunam, idam vakyam, this vakyam, this sentence, uvacha. Uvacha means said. Madhusudanaha. Madhusudanaha. Madhusudanaha we have covered yesterday. There are two meanings for that Madhusudana we covered. All right? We'll cover again later if required. Yeah, can we go to the next verse? Yeah. Shri Bhagavan Shri Bhagavan See here, it is not Krishna Uvacha, Vasudeva Uvacha, Bhagavan Uvacha, and for that there is a prefix of Shri. And who is this Bhagavan? Who is Bhagavan? That one is what? Supposing you are wealthy, you are called what? Dhanavan, is it not? And you have wonderful health, you are called Arogyavan. Like that, this Bhagavan has got superlative absolute virtues. Superlative absolute virtues. And what are all those virtues? 6 of them he had. 6 of them. The 6 virtues of Bhagavan those virtues have rendered Krishna to be called Bhagavan. Number 1 is Aishwarya. Aishwarya is what? Overlordship. There is nobody above him to dictate to him. Overlordship. What he says goes. And he is the lawgiver, and he is the lawmaker. He is the one who will uphold the law. And Virya. Virya is power, tremendous power. Yashaha. Yashaha is fame. Shriyaha. Shriyaha is wealth. For taking care of so many worlds, he indeed requires wealth, isn't it? Shriyaha. Then, to teach this kind of a Vedanta, he requires what? Knowledge absolute. Knowledge. Another thing is, he requires Vairagya, dispassion, so that he will treat everybody equally. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram. Name dveshosti na priyaha. All these beautiful things Bhagavan has said to Krishna, Arjuna, right? That Bhagavan, that person who has all these absolute virtues is called Bhagavan. And what is this Shri? Shri is Jagat Guru, I believe. Shri is Jagat Guru. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Now, in the Bhashyas for the Gita Shastram, several people have rendered Bhashyas even before Shankaracharya. And they were kind of conflicting and, vagueness and, meanings which can be confusing, that kind of a thing. That is when Shankaracharya took upon himself to render a Bhashyam. And I'm going to read from page 46 of the first volume of Bhagavad Gita Home Study Course. The first volume already was sent to you by Brahmara. You kindly open page 46 in that. You would find what I am reading now. I am reading absolutely from the text. To know what the Gita says requires inquiry, vichara. In the introduction to his commentary on the Gita, Shankara says, Tadidam Gita Shastram Samasta Vedadha Sara Sangraha Bhutam Durvigneyardham. The sense of the Gita Shastra, which is in the form of the essence of the meanings of the words of the Vedas. See the beautiful way it is presented. The sense of the Gita Shastra, which is in the form of the essence of the meanings of all the words of the Vedas, is difficult to grasp. tadardham avishkaranaya anekaihi vivruta padapadartha vakyartha nyayam api atyanta viruddha anekardhatvena laukikaihi gruhyamanam upalabhya aham vivekataha ardhanirdharanartham sankshepataha vivaranam karishyami. Iti what he has mentioned before he started on the Gita Bhashya. What does it mean, the Sanskrit? By many commentators, in an effort to clearly expound its meaning, this has been expounded in the form of treatises that deal with the words of the text, the meanings of the words, the meanings of sentences, the logic involved, and so on. Seeing that they are fraught with vagueness and contradictions, in order to ascertain the correct meaning with due discrimination, I am writing this brief commentary. What a humble way he has presented. In the opening, the opening remarks he has made for the Bhashya are these. Shankaracharya. Right. Now Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Shri Bhagavan is Jagat Guru Bhagavan. And Bhagavan is one who has got all the superlative qualities like Aishwarya, Virya, Yashaha, Shriyaha, Jnanaha, Vairagyaha. All these things he has got. Now, this is the second time Bhagavan is talking. First time, when did he talk?
When I think in the last in the
In the
last
first year.
Pashyaitam Pandu, not Pashyaitam.
Pashyetam
No, he,
Samavetan Kuruniti. That was the first time Bhagavan spoke. Here, this is the first time. Vyasa Bhagavan is indeed giving that Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Hey, be ready, be careful. Okay, Bhagavan is talking. Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam anadya jushtama swargyam akirtikaram Arjuna. Hey, kutaha tva kashmalam idam. This kind of a despair, idam, this despair, kutastva, for what reason? From where did you get this? This infatuation, how did it overtake you? Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame. Vishame means in this hour when Bhishmacharya has blown his Shankam, and both of us blown our Shankams, and the entire battlefield is full of all kinds of Shankadvanis. Vishame samupastitam, at this hour, the crisis time. How did this overtake you, Arjuna? Kutasva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam. Samupastitam means how did it happen? Samupastitam. Anarya justam. Hey Arjuna, you are a very noble man. You are a very, very noble man. Anarya justam. It is not befitting a noble person. It is ignoble. This Kashmalam, at this time in the Vishame Samupastitam, Anarya Justam, Aswargyam. Aswargyam. Hey Arjuna, you were talking of by killing all these people, Narake Niyatamato, Bhavati Chanushruma, all those things you said. By killing these, you will go to Naraka. By not fighting, it becomes Aswargyam. Anarya Justam, Aswargyam. By not fighting, it is Aswargyam. It cannot lead you to Swarga. Akirtikaram. It is infamous. And it will be a blot on your acquired fame. You are a very famous prince, a very great warrior, and a very noble person. And Akirtikaram Arjuna. Hey Arjuna, this is not correct. And Arjuna was listening to Bhagavan Krishna. Anarya Justam, ignoble, it is going to be Anarya Justam, Aswargyam, it does not take you to Swarga. Akirtikaram, it also will be a blot on your fame. Akirtikaram Arjuna. Kutastva Kashmalamidam, Vishame Samupaschitam. Hey Arjuna, what has happened to you? Why are you behaving like this? Depending on you, Yudhisthira has started waging the war. What are you doing? That is the message of Bhagavan. Klaibyam masmagamapadha naitatvayupapajyate kshudram hrudaya durbalyam chektvo thishta parantapa. Klaibyam, klaiba, kleba svabhavaha. Kleba svabhavaha means the svabhava, attitude of a eunuch, not a woman, not a man. Klaibyam ma asmagamah partha. Hey, don't entertain that kind of an attitude, Arjuna. Naitatvayupapajyate. Why he is saying that Klaibyam asmagamah? Before the war has started, Arjuna has asked Krishna, Senayoho ubhayor madhye me radham stapaya achyuta. And that kind of a person, he was showing intention to fight. Is it not? So that was a very manly person at that time. Now later on he said, Nakangshe Vijayam Krishna Narachirajam Sukhanicha, etc. Narake Niyatam Vasaha Bhavati Chanu Shushruma. All these things. These are not befitting a noble warrior like Arjuna. So that is how Krishna said, Klaibyam. You are behaving in a very split fashion. Earlier you asked me to take your chariot amidst the armies. I was so very glad. Now you say you will not fight. Klaibyam masmagamapadha naitatvayupapajyate. This is unbefitting. Okay? It does not befit a great warrior like you, a great prince like you, a very great nobility like you. Naitatvayupapajyate kshudram hrudaya durbalyam. Petty-heartedness, petty-mindedness also. Okay? Kshudram. Kshudram is very mean. Kshudram hrudaya durbalyam. Chektva, giving up. Uthishta. Uthishta means get up. Uthishta parantapa. Parantapa is what? Paran, Shatrun, tapayanti iti parantapaha. Shatrun tapayanti. You know, the enemies will be kind of burnt up whenever Arjuna faces them. Paran Shatrun tapayanti iti parantapaha, the scorcher of enemies. Then Arjuna does not leave. What he says, Arjuna Vacha. Till now, any doubts? Okay. Kadham bhishmamaham sankhye dronam cha madhusudana ishubhi pratiyochyami pujarha varisudana. Hey, Krishna, Katham bhishmam aham sankhye dronam cha madhusudana. Hey, Madhusudana, you are Parantapa, all right. You are Madhusudana also. You have killed the demon called Madhu. Now Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya, you consider them demons? Kadam Bhishmamaham Sankhe Dronam cha Madhusudana. Ishubihi means with arrows. Pratiyotchami. Pratiyotchami means I keep on fighting. Pujarha Varisudana. They are Pujarha. They are worthy of my worship. Pujarha Arisudana. Arisudana means, Ari means Shatru. Arisudana is the eliminator of Shatrus. Hey Krishna, you are the eliminator of Shatrus. You are also the eliminator of Madhu, the demon king. These two titles are very fine for you, but I do not want to get the title of Bhishma Sudana, Drona Sudana, Krupa Sudana, etc. Do you want me to get those titles? No. Kadam Bhishma Maham Sankhe, Dronam Cha Madhusudana, Ishubi Pratiyotsyami, Pujarhaha, Harisudana. Right, next one, please.
So Arjuna has used the correct words here, Madhusudana and Arisudana.
Correct.
Instead of saying Krishna or Achyuta or any of these others.
Arjuna was a student of the Vedic times. He's a well-read, well-learned person and very disciplined student. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhuktum bhaikshyamapi haloke hattvardhakamamstu guru nihaiva bhungiya bhogan rudira pradigdhan Gurun ahatva mahanubhavan. These gurus are mahanubhavan. These gurus includes Bhishmacharya also, because he learned before Dronacharya came on the scene. He learned from Bhishmacharya also. And indeed, Arjuna was playing on the lap of Bhishmacharya. Arjuna was very, very fond of Bhishmacharya, and he has as though imbibed the great qualities of Bhishmacharya. That kind of a person, how do you expect me to fight Madhusudana? How do you expect me to fight Dronacharya, Arisudana, Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan? By not killing them, Shreyo Bhuktum Bhaikshyamapi Ihaloke. Ihaloke in this world, Bhaikshyam. Bhaikshyam is what? The food that is obtained by Bhikshatana, by begging. Okay? That food is Bhuktum Shreyaha. Eating that is Shreyaha, is better. Hatvardhakamamstu Guru Nihaiva. Bhungiya Bhogan Rudhira Pradigdhan. Incidentally, in this verse and such like verses in the Gita, the Chandas has changed. Okay? This is called the Trishtup Chandas. Most of the Gita verses are Anushtup Chandas. Right? Hatvardhakamamstu Guru Nihaiva. Bhungiya Bhogan Rudhira Pradigdhan. And Krishna, after killing these people, what is that we will enjoy? The blood-stained pleasures and the wealth thereafter for our sense enjoyments. You want me to suffer that kind of an ignominy? People calling me Drona Sudana, Bhishma Sudana, Krupa Sudana, etc. While you remain as Madhusudana, you great titles you get. And Krishna and Arjuna, they were almost of the same age. Almost of the same age. Maybe Krishna was an year or so older. That is how, not only that, they were great friends. And from the beginning, Arjuna was befriended by Krishna. So much so, he has helped Arjuna take away Subhadra from the Yadava kingdom, and gives Arjuna some advice also. Hey Arjuna, you don't ride the chariot. You have Subhadra ride the chariot. Why? Because when the Yadavas go and attack Arjuna, and Balaram also would like to punish Arjuna, Krishna asks one question. Hey, did you see Arjuna riding the chariot? Those people say, no, Arjuna was not riding. It was Subhadra who was riding. Then Krishna tells, Balarama, hey, Anna, if Subhadra is riding the chariot, that means what? Subhadra has hijacked Krishna and Arjuna, not Arjuna hijacking Subhadra. You must be very happy about it. She likes him, she loves him, and she was demonstrating that she likes and loves him. She was riding the chariot, that kind of a thing. That kind of a great friend was Krishna. And with that kind of a familiarity, with that kind of a knowledge of Krishna, Arjuna keeps on talking throughout the Gita. Hatvardakamamstu guru nehaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan. How can we enjoy, the pleasures and wealth after killing these people, and which the wealth and pleasures will be bloodstained, rudhira pradigdhan, right? Nachedat vidma kataranno gariyo yadva jayema yadivano jayeyuhu yaneva hatva najijivishama teva stita pramukhe dhartarashtraha. For want of time, I am going to read the Tatparya directly from this text. Here, what is projected? Nachaitat vidmaha. We do not know. Kataranno gariyaha, which is preferred. Yadva jayema, whether we will be victorious. Yadiva vano jayehu, whether they will be victorious. Yaneva hatva najiji vishamaha. After having killing whom we do not feel like living. Stay avastitaha pramukhe dhartarashtraha. All those people are assembled now, pramukhe dhartarashtraha. Hey Krishna, we do not even know which is preferable for us, to fight or not to fight. Nor do we know whether we shall win or whether they will conquer us. Those very sons of Dhritarashtra, killing whom we do not even wish to live, stand in the enemy ranks. Karpanya dosha upahata swabhavaha pruchami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha ichreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme sishyasteham shadi mam tvam prapannam. Shadi, teach me. Tvam prapannam. I am surrendering to you, kind of. Shadi mam tvam prapannam karpanya dosha upahata swabhavaha. With my very being smitten by the vice of faint-heartedness and my mind puzzled with regard to duty, I beseech you, Krishna, tell me that which is decidedly good. I am your disciple. Pray, instruct me, who have taken refuge in you. Right? We will cover this tomorrow again. Nahi prapashyami mama panudyat yechokamuchoshanam indriyanam avaptya bhuma vasapatnam ruddham rajyam suranam apichadhipatyam. For even on obtaining undisputed sovereignty and an affluent kingdom on this earth and lordship over the gods, I do not see any means that can drive away the grief which is drying up my senses. Yet shokam, uchoshanam indriyanam, yet shokam, that sorrow, it is drying up my indriyanam. I think we'll stop here. We will cover these two, the verse number 7 and 8 again tomorrow, because they're very, very, very good verses. We need to have some kind of insight into those verses. And Arjuna says, Shishyasteham Shadhi, teach me. And suddenly, how did Arjuna become a student of Vedanta? That kind of a thing, all those things we will cover tomorrow, right? Any questions also we will cover tomorrow because it's already 8 o'clock, right? Hari Om, all of you. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari
Thank
Om.
you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari